Well, I wish everybody welcome once again to our channel where we think politics, but this time on today's as we globally um, reflecting, I should say that we are reflecting. Um, we are reflecting in terms of this narrative that we say that is a celebration of International Day of Youth, and the youth in Africa. We've go. I went to analyze. Those questions that I'm bringing now. I went to analyze many effects and the impact that we are living today in our continent, and in the most of the countries in our continent, we still have the heads of our states, those individuals that are they are the fathers of our liberation that just happened 50 years ago when we saw Ghana, Egypt, Nigeria, South Africa on the late 18s, but on the 17s, we had Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique before Angola. All those countries, they got independence. But obviously, the independence generate new citizens. And these citizens, there we are, the youth. And today is a good day for asking for the International Day of the Youth. By the way, I'm on my primers. I'm still on my primers of old age. I'm not at the old age, but I'm on my primers of the old age. And I'm stepping in. I can say that I'm an individual that's stepping on all the ages, but I don't have all the ages of the experience um, that required to be, a person that I would sit here with such an experience and saying so and so. By analyzing the question that we posing today, which is, the youth in Africa are asking, and then the main thing is, what questions are our youth in African are asking? What questions? Well, many questions are related to develop and the economic impact that society have within their life. Because if a young person saying that Angola, Nigeria, or whatever country in our continent, because normally people when they wanna talk, that's why I bring Africa here in global politics, because normal people when they wanna mention our our continent in global politics, they generalize all Africa when we are a big continent with different countries, with individuals with different thoughts, and obviously the youth in those countries, which one of them are question different, but there are similarities that are those youth uh, are asking. For instance, there's one question that I went around from Egypt to Tunisia, from Egypt to from North Africa to Sub-Saharan Africa. Uh, we are living in a highly critical period. On the same time, the circumstances for the youth in the continent, in most of the country, feel like the youth have been abandoned. And there is a narrative why this question feels like the youth have been abandoned. Let's debate a little bit. Let's open up a little bit about these circumstances. Lately, most of us, we've been witness in the black and the white on TV, on a newspaper, that thousands of Africans now die crossing the Mediterranean. Thousands of body. When you go to Lampedusa, when you go to the borders between Morocco and Spain, and even at some point in Portugal and the sea, you see across a lot of brother of African youth, very fresh men. We are losing it, and on the middle of these things, the fathers of of independence within many countries, still the head of the states, they never spoke up in regarding with that situation. So my question on the behalf of many youth in Africa, due to the research that I went through, why our leaders are in silence? Why are leaders, when they go in a global stage like United Nations or G4 or whatever, they never state that we are lose the most important commodity in Africa, the individual, the ones who should be in the factories, the one who should be the forceful of the army in our country, the ones who should be the engineer building up our continent, go across the globe, and so that we can sit with the other countries and deal with it. And none of our states, our heads of states in Africa, at some circumstances, they went in one of these big stages and they mentioned the fact that we are losing lots of soul. That's the first one. The second one, do you think that African leaders are not aware, or we can say African Union is not aware the huge amount of number that youth are dying in deserts in Africa, try to cross Ethiopia to head into Europa to seek for the prosperity for themselves that we don't have in our country. There is no debate, there's no engaged. And then sometimes I wonder the people of African Union, because this should be African Union responsible. Even there is no report, there is no a tweet, there is no an email, and this is a big factor that happened. And on a blink of eyes, we are losing a lot of youth. And then sometimes I wonder, I'm thinking, um, why those situations have been not solved. The third question is how comfortable, how comfortable, how well being our Africans leaders are feel if most of them, since we have independence, they are the only ones who experience the prosperity in our continent. How do they feel that we still surrounded by poverty? How our heads of states in many countries in Africa, I feel that they are living each year millions of life without chances. And the youth develop, the youth are there, and we see countries like Angola embracing now a method or a system that they will, the states, the government is fighting to put it in place in order to tackle the birth. This is the only thing that we can't do, and we are touching these things. Who advising? Who giving advice to heads of states? And this is the third question. Is the third question is linking that the only ones who are living. How do you feel as a leader that you are the only one who are living comfortable in our country with everything available for you, while your even the people from your village where you born, where you grow up, where your ancestors coming from, they barely can afford a bread or a milk on a daily basis. Children are marching kilometers in order to find the next school so that they can have a lesson. How do you feel? How do they feel? How this last question is quite critical. How do they feel 50 years, 5 decades after we conquer our independences in our country? Some of the countries are 6 decades. We're talking about 16 years we've been independent, and our continent. There are countries I can say that I'm not gonna name here in order to not feel some people a little bit, off the hook, and how do we feel like to what stop us on the 50 years for us not develop in order to youth like myself could stay in our continent, could stay in our countries, in our homeland, and feel the nationalism, prosperity. This is the last question for among all those 4 questions, because I felt that it is important. And then right at the end, I'm sending my courage, my determination for all my African brothers, all my sisters, all the youth in Africa that facing the daily challenge in the country, outside the country. It seems to be that even in our continent, we don't have a chance. It's no longer the matter of being black, but it's a matter of being an African, and it remains a lot of problem. But obviously, our channel is open to variety, as you can see the name here that talks. We talk politics globally, and we will be engaged in many other content. But this is just to reflect how our continent is shaping towards the future, and what the others younger, um, our kids, our nephews, people who are gonna come after us, after we gone. Well, how do they feel that we are moving forwards for the benefit of the continent? There is a chance still that we can go back. What is in place for us to develop our continent? My name is Jika Tetembo. I'm from Angola. Please subscribe on our channel. Um, we're trying to engage. If you follow the step by step the lives, we're trying to engage. We're trying to change. We're trying to get more media display outlets, so that in order for us to combine to catch with a good quality. So we just started. We go pretty much a little bit more light. It works. We've been offered um, a good cup. This is a cup that symbolizes our continent. So we've got that. And then this is a book from British Library. They engage in the what we paint, what we have in our continent, because it is important for our youth to understand that in United Kingdom, or no matter where you are, you can get to know our stuff. I am student of global politics and international relations. Therefore, the reason that I'm engaged on those segments is because I do believe that if we talk and we engage on a linguistic global in terms of politics, we understand what happened. We can live in the world but respect each other, and each one of us have something that somebody else wants, but we can always have a deal in order to benefit us, the ones who have the commodity, and the other ones who are interested in the community. Should it be like this? For that reason, I'm engaged in global politics. This is nothing much global politics. Then I've done a degree on global politics, and very interesting the amount of subjects that we do connect with the media. Thank you so much for you take your time, and give us a chance. Slowly, we are recovering today. Also, we go another book come from Nigeria. which is very interesting, very interesting. The Influence of King is a kind of novel. Titi was the fall, and then I'm still kind of going through it, and I feel like because normally when I get those interest book, yeah, she's got 300 pages. So how would I go about? I would find the time to go to deal it. In a day. I will do 25 pages. That's the way I read. So, and if I one day I do 25 pages, and then that's it. I don't read more. I keep for another day, another 25 pages. So in 2 days I'll go 50 pages. Think about, sometimes I even take a break for 2 days without reading, then I come back, another 25 pages, 75 page, go back, another 25, already talking about 100 pages. I'm already nearly if more 2 days. If I put in, I'll be on the middle of the book. This is the way I managed to read some of these books, most of these books at the back. But I take a forward, take a plan. You're gonna limit it yourself from some of the other things. So the reason why I'm giving all these thoughts is because I feel like speak with youth. You cannot be coming and say anything, say something, but all emptied. That's why I'm recording this video. I hope you like it, and then have some comments, some criticism on that. Thank you so much, and then I'll see you soon when I'll be talking about Jose Mendes de Carvalho. He's one of the biggest Angola hero that we lost, and then I feel that the man would count a lot for the history. Thank you so much. Amia Digina. Oh, my name is Jika Tetemo Hussein. All right.